Chapter 2 is all about the duality of interpretive and objective theory, how we see the world and what we make of it. So I'll choose to talk about an exchange I had with my friend recently. I think it perfectly highlights both fields of thought nicely. My friend is going through a lot currently and wanted someone to vent to and listen. She mentioned that her anxiety is going through the roof with all that she has going on. I asked her to explain. She proceeded to tell me her predicament. She's making some big moves in her life and trying to start a business of her own. She's a tattoo artist and trying to get a loan to finance her business endeavor. She is nervous because she fears she may not get the loan she needs. She is used to getting paid cash money for the work she does, so she's only ever paid cash for for a lot of things in her life, more specifically things that banks look at, like vehicles, housing, and just any sort of big purchases. On paper, she has very little credit. So yeah, that's what she's stressing over. The fear of the unknown mixed with her anxiety is making her feel like she should just give up. She is feeling super doubtful. So I took that all in, and after rereading the chapter, I very much saw how I employed both objective and interpretive thought in my response to her. As I mentioned in the chapter, resonance is very key. That resides on the objective side of thinking, and I wholeheartedly agree. You have a better chance of someone hearing you out if you can relate or touch base with them than you would be just arguing or simply giving your hot take on an issue. So I started off by saying, I feel you. Change is scary, no doubt. And just that one sentence, I used objective speech to let her know that I understood and used the fact that change is scary. In fact, we all know and feel to further seal the understanding. Basically, that you'll never know the outcome of something unless you do it. That it's draining to you mentally to agonize over something or especially that you don't know the outcome of. I let her know that it's not easy because I get the same way thinking about ways to pay for school. I'm always on the borderline of needing to get a loan and whatnot. It's never fun asking for help. But then I introduced interpretive thinking and told her of the multiple potential outcomes that could happen, meaning that it's not the end of the world if she does not get the loan. I introduced her to other outcomes such as getting told no. It will only allow her to regroup and refocus. She can come up with a better game plan, like building up credit, getting the money other ways, and that there's even assistance specifically getting a loan. There's help out there like grants and the Small Business Bureau that helps in securing a loan and assistance. I then let her know that she does have a lot on her plate, but I bet that she would be pleasantly surprised to see her results with the effort she puts into it. It's okay to put yourself out there. It's okay to be vulnerable. We all need help sometimes. And that kind of rhetoric is tricky. They come off as fact, but at the end of the day, they are just assertions. To me, they are both objective and interpretive. I also asked her if she had an actual business plan, that it could be a stress relief to come up with one. That way you see on paper what you do have and what you don't, what you really need and how close you are from getting it, what you plan on doing with your business and where you see it going. Plus, the business plan looks good when going for a loan. She told me she did that, and that it's also her business partner making her anxiety go up by stressing over stuff they have no control over at this point. I told her to remind her partner that y'all are in the same boat, that there is nothing wrong with stressing over a future plan, but to channel anxiety into motivation, because she is on the right path. She is making moves, and not to lose sight of that. She thanked me for listening to her and for the advice. I ended it by bringing up a quote I saw that said, anxiety is basically just conspiracy theories that you make up about yourself. I told her how funny I found it and how true it is. You're basically fantasy booking when you're in your head over anxiety. The things you tell yourself are not proven, and they are not grounded in reality. I told her that I'm proud of her and to keep doing her. In conclusion, the story showed how I used both objective and interpretive rhetoric to comfort my friend. I used objective theory to paint the picture of black and white when I needed to tell her things like change is scary. She does have a lot on her plate, to be relatable, empathetic, and comforting, and letting her know that she will never know until she tries, and that she's only beating herself up and thinking negatively, especially in a situation where she does not know the outcome. Then I used interpretive rhetoric to color in the picture and let her know that there are several possible outcomes, and none of them are as bad as what she's telling herself. I let her know with all the help that's out there on getting a loan and creating a business plan could ease her stress. I agree with the book that there are so many communication theories out there, and some lean one way, some the other, that it's best to read them all and see which side you end up falling under. I'm still not certain which side I lie. I feel like if you're so empirical, so matter of fact, you run the risk of being pretentious And conversely, if you rely on what you know to be true, multiple possibilities, you can become unrelatable. I find myself using both approaches a lot. You can use numbers and facts to gain resonance, which is important, but it is also important to let your values and experiences be known for comfort. Because no one truly knows an answer, but it's always good to talk to someone that bounce ideas off to establish a healthy rapport that only comes with reciprocity. And I believe that reciprocity is deeply rooted in interpretive theory. What sparks reciprocity in your own self is something that will always be very personal. Or that's what I hypothesize, at least.